For today, they're going Transatlantic Supersonic. British Airways Transatlantic Concorde services have opened a new era in swift daytime journeys from the Gulf and Europe to cities deep in the heart of America. It's now possible to leave Bahrain at 9:45 in the morning and arrive Washington at midday. Leave Tehran 6 a.m., arrive Washington noon. Leave Stockholm 9 a.m., arrive Chicago at 2:45. Leave London 1 p.m., arrive Salt Lake City at 5:50.
Good afternoon, sir. 780, see the stewardess down there, please. Okay, thank you.
The first time supersonic passenger finds himself in a surprisingly normal aircraft cabin. He's soon impressed by the comfort of the specially designed seats, room for the tallest to stretch his legs.
First row, sir, just round the corner there. Thank you, sir.
There's plenty of stowage space for briefcases and jackets, and every inducement to relax in the air-conditioned, all-first-class cabin with its 100 seats. A club-like atmosphere, created by the warm colours of the cabin decor and the two abreast seating. One o'clock, departure. Flight 579 is gently eased back from the jetty. Concorde, the most thoroughly tested aircraft in civil aviation history, with its long, slender fuselage and sculptured delta wing, is the shape of high design technology. Created to operate with equal ease, subsonically and up to twice the speed of sound, faster than a rifle bullet. Nearly as long, but around half the all-up weight of a 747. On the flight deck, the three-man crew, two pilots and an engineer complete their checks, lowering the nose to increase visibility for taxiing and takeoff. Concorde's four big Olympus engines pack more than double the thrust of a 707. But for the passengers, there's nothing dramatic about the takeoff. The only difference they may notice is the ground receding rather more rapidly than usual, for Concorde climbs fast. Within minutes of takeoff, they're already travelling at 650 miles an hour, just below the speed of sound, and soon enjoying pre-lunch aperitifs.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Eames speaking. As some of you may have noticed, we're just crossing the Bristol Channel and coming up to the Welsh coastline.
20 minutes out of London comes the moment some passengers have been awaiting with anticipation. The transition from subsonic to supersonic flight. It's what Concorde is all about. The acceleration through Mach 1, the speed of sound, is accomplished so smoothly that but for the cabin Mach meter and an announcement from the captain, most passengers would be unaware of the transition. They are more likely to be made aware of the event by people like Bob Hoffmeyer, collecting a prize for the family album. As Concorde begins its gentle cruise up to 57,000 feet, there's virtually no sensation of speed or height. Above, the sky begins to assume a deep indigo blue. Far below, the cloud tops create the illusion that the aircraft is stationary, suspended in space. It's cruising up here where winds are light that makes it possible for Concorde to operate punctually, to arrive when the timetable says it will. 10 minutes to 12, Dulles, Washington's International Airport.
Concorde Speedbird 579 Dulles Tower. We cleared the land runway 1 right. The winds are variable 330 degrees, 040 degrees at 5.
Dulles 579, roger.
Say your direction of flight and requested VFR altitude departing Dulles.
Flight 579 touches down to complete a 3,780-mile journey in just over 3.5 hours, less than half the time of the subsonic flight. And the eastbound flight is just as quick. The parking ramp at Dulles is half a mile from the terminal building. Air-conditioned mobile lounges are waiting to ferry the passengers across. As they leave Concorde, for most passengers, there's a sense of unreality. The flight was so quick and relaxing, they didn't have time to get bored. And they all agree on one thing. They've crossed 5 time zones, yet they've arrived refreshed with no feeling of disorientation. And there's still half an American day ahead of them. Bob Hoffmeyer's never landed back on American soil from the North Sea so fast before. Delta will have him in Texas before sundown. Bahrain, Washington. For British Airways, the supersonic era has just begun. As the Concorde network grows, services cutting subsonic times in half are planned from London to New York, 3.5 hours. Melbourne, 13.5 hours. Tokyo, 8 hours. Supersonic passenger flight is now a reality, shrinking the air routes of the world. Already, the Atlantic is less than 4 hours wide.
On April 10, 2003, Air France and British Airways announced they would be retiring their fleet of Concorde aircraft. They blamed low passenger numbers and rising maintenance costs. Although advanced when it was launched, 30 years on the planes were outdated and expensive to run. Passenger numbers fell after an Air France Concorde crashed minutes after taking off from Paris in July 2000, killing all 109 people on board and 4 on the ground. The plane ran over a piece of metal on the runway, bursting a tire which caused the fuel tank to ignite as it was taking off. After nearly 50,000 flights and having carried 2.5 million passengers, the supersonic marvel was finally retired.